Hello, everyone. Sorry we are so late this evening. This is the official panel for the bold and badness, the bold and beauty of gastric sleeve surgery. I am Manika Johnson Plus model, and I will let each one of the ladies introduce themselves. Who wants to go next?
Hi, everybody. It's your girl Tina, also Fab Tina out in the modeling world. I am excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
I am Lynn Love. I am also a plus size model, and I started my weight loss journey in 2019. Thanks for having me.
Hey y'all, my name is Amber, also known as Amber Miss Statuesque. And I started my weight loss journey in 2016.
Okay.
Nice.
So as you can see, everybody, we have many things all in common, and we all live in 3 different states. But the two most things that we all have in common is that, of course, we're plus models, and then we've all had the gastric sleeve surgery. So this is officially the Worth Your Weight, Worth the Wait podcast, the bold badness, the greatest, the beautiful things that we see in our gastric bypass surgery. So we are going to tonight, kind of give an overview of what led us to have our gastric sleeve surgery. I'm sorry. Um, each one of our stories we're all similar but different at the same time. So Miss Tina, if you would mind going first to what led you to have your gastric sleeve surgery, and when did you have your sleeve surgery?
So, I had my surgery in 2017. Um, I actually was heavily against surgery. I wanted to do it on my own. After I'm a cancer survivor, shout out. I'm a breast cancer survivor. But after they removed my lymph nodes on my right side, I noticed that I began swelling. And I swole like overnight. To me, it was like overnight. And it was so severe to where I went from wearing a size, I didn't have 9 shoe to having to buy 11, 12 sizes 11, 12. That's how severe I was like retaining fluid. And I'm walking, I'm eating right, I'm doing everything that the doctors are telling me to do, but my weight is going up instead of down. I became borderline diabetic, borderline hypertension, borderline this, that, up, down, left, right. And I was like, okay, this ain't making sense. Like, I done gave up everything except Jesus, and I'm still not losing weight. This makes no sense. So, I actually ended up going to a consultation with a friend who had already made up in her mind to have the surgery, and I was a skeptic. And so I'm sitting there, and he's telling her, all of the side effects, all of the benefits of her having the surgery and da da da. And he was like, "We could help you too." And me being the skeptic, whatever. No, I'm not gonna do it. I walk, I do this, I do that. And I said, I'm dealing with blah, 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 blah. And he was like, we can help you. And I'm like, no, you can't. So it went from me going, accompanying my friend to her consultations to me starting to get my own consultation and go through the thing. And I had tried everything else. I was like, man, my insurance gonna pay for it. Let's see if it work. Had to fast forward, had the surgery. Felt like I got hit by a truck. But here I am, couple of years out. I lost a whole person. I'm no longer dealing no blood pressure issues, no hypertension, no diabetes. Back in my size 8 to 9s, could put on some pills, not swelling anymore. So I guess it worked.
That's awesome.
Wonderful. Miss Amber.
Yes. So I've always been plus size even as a child. So and I've never had any health issues, and I want to say like prior to surgery, um, I think that last go around I was on blood pressure pills. So, that was just like I guess a kick in the butt for me. I've probably tried every diet under the sun, the little egg diet, the military diet, the smoothie cleanse, just a whole bunch of things, and drop a couple of pounds or what have you, and then gain it back like once the little diet was over. So I had the gastric bypass in 2016. And a lot of people will say like it's the easy way out, and it's not. I never met my goal weight. I probably lost around 50 or so pounds, and then over the years I kind of progressed and kind of gained some of my weight back. Not completely all of my weight back, but now I'm kind of having to revisit the whole using it as a tool, not just a get quick scheme. That makes sense.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, that's wonderful. And Miss Lynn Love, would you like to go next?
I've been researching for years. At 6'3", 340 pounds. My doctors had talked to me about it, and I was like, you guys can take your European 1920s weight chart and do stuff with, like, go take it somewhere else. I'm not here for it. I'm not built like that. I'm not here to be that built. Like, but then it got to the point where I had a car accident in 2016, and I put on like 50 pounds in like 6 months because I just wasn't as active. Before my car accident, I had 3 jobs and was working with kids and was doing hair. And my primary job was a preschool teacher. So of course, little kids, they keep you on your feet. Well, then I was suddenly stagnant and put on like 50 pounds. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, it was about 50 pounds. And that's when I got up to my highest of like 340. And it was just too much. I started having issues with sleep apnea, high cholesterol. My blood pressure has always been okay, but the high cholesterol was enough for me that I was just like, okay, so what do we do? And then they started throwing all these medications at me. And I've never really been one to not eat well, but there were a lot of underlying health issues that were contributing to it. And there's a misconception that if you're plus size, you just sit around and eat bonbons and Cheetos dipped in Frosties. And that's not the case. It's not the case. At least it's not my case. I don't know anybody who does that who's plus sized. I've never seen it before, so I don't know where this misconception comes from. So, but I had the gastric sleeve done in Virginia, and it was definitely like getting hit by a truck. I woke up, I looked at my mother, and I said, I think I just made the biggest mistake of my life. I've never felt this kind of pain before. But over time, it got better. I'm at right about before COVID, y'all. I gotten down to like 222. I was so proud of myself. Now here we are 2 years after COVID. And I'm like 255. So the COVID snacks won. But I'm getting back on top of it. It's hard with injuries to deal with that, with injuries, with nerve damage. I know, Miss Tina, you were saying that you had some surgeries done. So with any kind of nerve damage to any areas, it can be really difficult. And for me, it was my back, my shoulder, and my hip. So I had 3 like main target areas that made it really hard for me to lose weight naturally, let alone the medical aspect of it. I was diabetic. I had sleep apnea. I had high cholesterol. And they had labeled me morbidly obese, which again, European standards from 1920, because that's exactly what it is. In case y'all haven't already figured this out, I may or may not be the little rowdy one in the group. Y'all could just call me Lil Rowdy. It's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay. Miss Tina
It's
knows.
okay.
Miss Tina knows I get a little rowdy. But yeah, so I'm glad that I did my surgery. I never made it to my goal weight of 190. Ain't no part of me being 6'3" finna be no 190. Y'all can miss me with it. I was really happy at 320 or 220. So I think that, you know, anywhere between 220 and 230, I think I'll be back where I want to be. So, but it was weird, going from like, and maybe we can touch on this in one of the podcasts, going from like finally feeling like I could go out and buy clothes. Like I had lost enough weight, I hit a plateau, and then I went to my regular stores.
Right.
Their smallest sizes, the one place that I had always felt safe shopping and felt that I could really get in there and be cute. Suddenly nothing fit. And I felt like my best friend had turned their back on me. I felt so betrayed. I'm like, what do you mean, Lane Bryant? What do you mean, Ashley Stewart?
What do you
Where my
mean
clothes
for
at?
it?
Yeah.
What do you mean? But we've been besties for so long. So
Bad breakup.
it's a rough breakup, isn't it? And then you
Yeah.
still like, even like now, like I go into the biggest size, like I go into my biggest size in the store. And then my friends and family are looking at me and they're like,
Why you got the big old clothes on?
but why are you in the 3Xs and 4Xs though? Because you know you're not a 3-4X no more, right? And I'm like, but this is cute. But it's cute. And they're like, no, put it down. Go the other way.
I'm like,
Go the other way. So it's weird.
It's just some program the beeline for the plus size stuff.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. But the straight sizes don't fit me either.
So you're kind of like in between.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I think that's been the biggest downfall is the body dysmorphia, like not seeing yourself the way that other people see you.
Mm-hmm.
And not knowing how to dress this person. Like, I don't know how to dress you. I'm finna wear leggings. Get comfy. Call it a day. Leggings and dresses. So that's my little spiel, my little journey. I've enjoyed it though. I would do it all over again. I may not want to do those first 3 days that I spent in that hospital again. But I would do the liquid diet all over again.
I went home the same day.
You so lucky, girl.
Really? They kept me for 3 days.
Yeah, I stayed 3 days.
Week because I couldn't pass the swallow test. So I was there for a week.
You were there for a week? So
5 days.
I didn't pass the swallow test for 2 days. On the 3rd day, I passed it. And that's the only reason they let me go home.
I had a hernia that they repaired when they went in.
Yeah.
And so because of the swelling of the hernia and that, everything was...
Yeah.
So I couldn't pass the swallow test. So I was there for a week.
Yeah, that's rough. That's really rough.
So Miss Monica, tell us about you, baby cakes.
Well, similar to Amber, I've been plus size my entire life, you know, and, you know, I suffered from depression, high blood pressure. I had sleep apnea. Luckily, my cholesterol was good. But I think at my heaviest, I was about 450 was my heaviest that I was. And I had thought about it some time ago. You know, I had, went to, a couple of different, they had little seminars or whatever. And I went and whatever. And so I said, like, maybe surgery is not for me. Maybe I should just, try and do this on my own. So, like everybody else, I've tried everything, any fad that anybody had, I was trying it. The Slim Fast puke in the can, I was trying that. It was just, it just seemed like food just kept winning with me. And that's what I think but because of my depression, that is what didn't disappoint me.
Right.
Was the food was my best friend, it just coming. And I had my daughter in 2010, and then I had to got my gallbladder removed because I had a huge gallstone or whatever. And the doctor said, well, why don't you think about having gastric bypass or whatever. I said, well, the employer that I was at the time, they were not going to cover it. I didn't have any money, of course, to afford to pay for it on my own. I said, well, I'm just going to try and do this, on my own. And of course, I was defeated. I still couldn't lose it. So I had, I started working for a new employer, and they had just approved for people to have, it was a bunch of different surgeries that they started approving.
Right.
And I, at first I got the mailing, the little newsletter in the mail at home. Then I had it on my computer at work. And then, some more flyers would come in. I'm just like, well, maybe this is a sign for me that I need to check this out.
Right.
So actually there was a doctor, weight loss surgeons across from the hall from where my mother worked, and she worked in a medical building. So, I made an appointment. I went over there, and I, spoke with the nutritionist. I spoke with one of the doctors, spoke with, a bunch of different people that, just one day. And they said, well, just tell out your story. So I just basically just ran through everything.
Right.
And they just, was like, well, how about we run your insurance, see what your insurance does. And, it's probably going to take about 3-4 weeks for the insurance to get back to you, whatever. I mean, I went like a Wednesday, and by Monday, they were calling me back like, hey, you're approved. And I was like, oh, that was quick. You all said 4 weeks. That was like 3-4 days.
Okay.
And they said, well, you're going to have to meet your deductible. You're going to put, a deposit down of $5,000. I'm like, I don't have $5,000. Luckily, my grandmother said, you know what? We want you alive for your child. I'm going to give you the $5,000. And so she gave me the money. I, of course, had my surgery 2017. And, another thing is I didn't want to feel like I was embarrassing my daughter at school. I didn't want to feel like I was the fat mom that couldn't get up and do anything, and that couldn't run behind her or whatever. She's on the playground. I'm out of breath after 2 steps. I just wanted to feel like I was representing her in a better light. So I had my surgery 2017, and I lost basically like a whole person. Like, I didn't see it at first. I was still thinking that I was still a 30, 32, 34, 36. And it was just, different for me when everybody was like, oh gosh, you look awesome. I was like, who? And they're like, well, you. And I was like, I do. I'm still thinking I'm 450. I'm not thinking in my mind, because I couldn't stand scales. I didn't have a scale. So I never even got on one. So I finally found, got a scale, whatever, stepped on it. I'm like in the 200s. I was like, I had never been in the 200s since probably elementary school, or probably never in my life. So I was really, really like, I can't believe this. And it's just been a whirlwind. Like, sometimes I still think, when I go to the stores, I still think I'm, a 30, 32. I still think I have to specialize, especially order my clothes when they have it right there. But I'm just like, okay, I have to, really frame my mind, because sometimes I still think that I'm that 450 pound woman, and I'm now in my 200s. And it's just just a whirlwind for me. And the amount of attention that I've gotten from, telling my story and people seeing me, they're like, wow, I can't, you don't even look the same. And I've tried different things, when the first time I even tried like a 2-piece outfit on or a crop top, I was just like, I think I'm hot stuff now if I'm wearing this crop top,
Because you are hot stuff.
And I just, yes. And I was
And
just like,
is and will be.
yes. And then when I went to, I was used to going into stores with my little bitty friends, and they were always like, people would look at me like, what is she doing in here? Is she trying to, steal or whatever? And then when I went into Pink, and I'm like, I can't fit nothing in here or whatever. My mom was like, you should try and get that extra large and see what happens. I said, I'm not going to be able to fit this. I know I'm not going to be able to fit this. She says, just try it on. She says, I bet you can fit it. So I said, I'm just going to just go try this on and see what happens. I went in the dressing room and I tried that extra large on. Like I said, I hadn't worn an extra large like ever. I'm used to 4, 5Xs, 6Xs. That's what I'm used to. I'm not used to no XL. I about passed out myself. So I'm like, I can't believe I'm actually fitting something in pink.
I still haven't been able to go in there yet. I still have like a mental stigma.
Go. I'm wearing. Thank you, Miss Rivers. I'm wearing a Victoria's Secret bra. Never in my life did I go in pink. Never ever did I go in Victoria's Secret because I was like, for what? It ain't no secret that I got rolls and all of these. So where am I hide it at? Wearing Victoria's Secret, wearing pink. Like, I think I told y'all the last when we were discussing this. I had a t-shirt I bought from Forever 21. The same like you ladies. In my mind, I immediately go to extra large 2X. That's always been my size. So I got this too. Y'all know I love Forever Tupac. That's my boo. That's my man. Okay. They had these Poetic Justice t-shirts. So I had got listen, I had got 2 of them. And so my favorite one, I got ready to put it on and it was a medium. And I was like, dang, I got to take this back to the store. I don't even think they had no more. I had to surf through these just to find these 2. I'm like really going off. And so not my man was like, that shirt could probably fit. Why don't you try the shirt on? And I was like, child, I don't wear no medium. I wear large and that, I wear extra large, da, 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 da. He said, try the shirt on. So I'm thinking, y'all see them. I still got my wings. Them wings ain't finna holla back. We out here. We out here.
I have access to everywhere.
But I'm thinking, them wings, my bad wings ain't finna fit in this medium. You finna have me over here.
Looking like a T-Rex.
Okay. Take the little hand. So I put it on my neck and I got the arm through no problem.
Butter.
So I'm like,
yeah,
it's a setup. How? I took the shirt off and started a live snap. I got to show the world that I put on me. I ain't never in the history. Ever. I think maybe 6th, 7th grade was the last time I wore a medium. 6th, 7th grade. Last time I ever can mentally think that I, Katina, wore a medium. Baby, I've been all in Walmart everywhere buying, putting on mediums. Now, baby, you can't tell me nothing. Listen.
Does this medium fit? Oh, girl, does this medium fit? Does this fit? I still don't wear medium.
I haven't got time to medium yet, but extra large. This is working. This working. I bought a Scorpio shirt last year from Amber. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I'll be able to fit this or not. Because I'm a Scorpio. I want to wear it for my birthday. And I'm just like, I'm wearing this shirt anyway. And I'm going to pray about this. And I put that shirt on. I thought I was hot stuff. I was like, oh,
yes.
okay. I'm going to have to give me some more shirts from Amber. But, it's just been a different experience, because like I said, I still sometimes in my mind think that I'm heavier than what I am. And I just have to focus my mind like, you're not that girl anymore. She's gone. And it took me a while to even separate from my clothes because I didn't care. I was wearing baggy stuff. My daughter, she was 7 when I had surgery, and I had lost the weight, so I needed new undergarments and stuff. She had my underwear just going like this, like, look at mommy, like a kite. I said, girl, give me this. And I never even wore shorts. I finally wore shorts when I had the photo shoot back in April when Tina came to Ohio.
This big girl always been in shorts.
I was never comfortable in shorts, and I even wore fishnets. Me wearing fishnets with some shorts, I was like, okay. And then Tina said, girl, you better tie that shirt. I said, tie what shirt? She says, you gonna tie the shirt in the middle. And she tied my shirt, and I said, oh my goodness, I can't believe this, that I'm able to actually tie my shirt. She tied my shirt. She told me, she said, we ain't going outside. And then, we get outside and everybody's looking at us, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're thinking the worst. We was shutting it down.
Mm-hmm.
We were shutting it down. Tina made the man in the food truck nervous. And I was just, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, where'd you get those shirts from? And this and that. I'm just like, are they looking at us? They're looking at us in a positive note because I was just so definitely afraid. And I didn't know what to expect. After Tina told me I better tie this shirt, better wear these shorts and these fishnets, and I said, goodness.
And then I was like, we're going outside.
Mm-hmm.
Outside? I gotta go outside like this?
Yeah, we're going outside. Mm-hmm. And then
outside? And was that your face? Was that your face? Be honest, that was your face? Because I would have been outside.
Did I did? Come on.
I'm barely comfortable with it inside. What you mean?
and then we wore them the rest of the day. We went on our chili hop.
Yeah, and we went on the chili hop in the outfit, and then she pooped out on us, but we kept the party going, and I ended up at the club.
But I did come to the one club. I did come to the one club.
She did.
I did.
We outside, like we outside. We are outside.
Outside.
Everybody was loving our shirts. We said big thighs and good vibes.
I need a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. Big Girl Season 365.
So what would you all say is your biggest, is like the biggest thing? Like, do you wish that you would have done it sooner, or are you glad that you did it at the stage of life that you were in? Because I have friends that like their siblings got it done. A specific friend of mine that I'm thinking of, his sister got it done when she was, I think she was like 17 or 18. And, for anybody that's had surgery done or is getting ready to have surgery or thinking about having surgery, one of the things that's really prominent is like they teach you how to listen to your body, right?
Right.
So we get these little signals to tell us to stop eating.
Yeah.
So for me, one of my biggest signals is that I will burp. Like sometimes it's just real quiet. Yeah. Okay, so your nose runs. I burp. Miss Amber, you have a telltale?
I burp, my nose runs, and I have to stop for a second to make sure the food goes down, because because I know we'll cover this in a future episode, but it gets stuck right here. And if it don't go down, then
what's gonna happen?
Then it's gonna come back up.
It's gonna come back up, yeah. But
there's no nice way to put it.
Yeah. I personally wish I would have had it sooner.
Okay.
Even before I had my daughter, I wish I would have had it sooner. I guess it was all in God's timing when it was time for me, because how God miracles work was the day that I had my surgery, I had an EKG done, and the doctor was like, "It's a good thing you're even coming here to have this surgery." He said, "Because your heart is going bad."
Oh wow, carrying that around too long.
Yeah, I've been carrying that around too long. He said, "Your heart is going bad I think he said the left side was going bad." And that's why you're all swollen up all the time. I mean, like my ankles were like this.
Wow.
And I could barely walk some days. I couldn't even put on my shoes some days.
Look at God.
And he was just saying, because he kept giving me all these signs like, you need to look into this. You need to get this done. I got you. And I said, maybe I need to listen to him, because I had lost my way. I had lost my faith. Like, I'm never going to be thin. I'm never going to be attractive. I didn't feel attractive. I felt like I just was not a beautiful person. I just never had thought about that. I never felt that way at all.
How about you, Tina?
For me, I feel like it was perfect timing. I've always been active, and I've always been a rebel. So I was the big girl that was on the cheerleading squad and the dance team. I'm the thick girl. And what? I'm out here with the skinny girls. I play basketball, so I didn't know back then I was slim thick. I was just big. I've always had big legs, big thighs, boobs, butt. I've always been big, but back then, my stomach, I ain't had a fupa. Fupa came when I had children. But back then, I didn't know what slim thick was. I just knew I don't wear a size 6. I wear a 12. Where my friends are in 3s and 6s and 8s and jeans. Tina need a 12. I got booty and thighs, so we're gonna put that in something. And you fat, and I'm like, yeah, and your mama is too. So we outside. What's up? That's always been me. It never stopped me. I think, where is it? Is it behind me? It is. I wore see-through. This is me, and I was 340 pounds, and I went to a costume party in a see-through dress. I've never cared. I've always pushed the envelope. Always.
I always played it safe. I'm just like, I'm not gonna play this because I'm like, if I wear this, somebody's gonna say this. If I wear that, somebody's gonna say that.
If I liked it and I liked the way I looked in it, how anybody feel about it? And it never stopped me from having a boyfriend. I always had a boyfriend. I didn't do the secret lovers who want to love BBWs from behind. No, you need to say it with your chest or don't come talking to me. I don't pay what I weigh. I don't do none of that. And so that's just always the lane I stayed in. And I got a husband. I had my kids. I lived my life. I was perfectly fine. Like I said, it wasn't until after my battle with cancer when I began to swell, and they couldn't tell me why I was swelling up. And I went from 315 pounds to 355 pounds in a month and a half. And then I started knocking on 400 pounds. And then my shoes and then my clothes don't fit. And then even when I put on a girdle or, waist trainer or whatever, now I look like the stuffed turkey instead of it hiding my belly. Now it just looks swollen in the shirt like this. No, what? Wait. Now I got a problem. Now we got to go talk to somebody because now I'm losing my confidence in myself because something is wrong,
Right.
So
I thought when I tried to wear, when I was 450 and I tried to wear Spanx or whatever, I don't know why, but I stopped wearing Spanx back then because I always felt like I looked like Danny DeVito in Batman 2. Because how round he was, that was me. I was like, what, I'm not doing this. This is supposed to smooth stuff out. It ain't smoothing nothing else. So what's the point of wearing it? I mean, I was just like, I just feel like I was like the little penguin. That's just how I felt like I looked. I was like, yeah, this isn't happening. Yeah.
How tall are you, Nakia?
I am 5'5". So
And you're not too far from that, are you, Tina?
I'm 5'7".
Okay. And then Amber and I are both creeping on 6 feet. You 5'11"?
Oh no, I'm 6 foot.
Right. Okay. And then I'm 6'3". I got to see Amber a couple of weeks ago at a show.
Congratulations. Those were so gorgeous, by the way.
They were, yeah.
Oh, she didn't come to that show, but thank you so much.
I'm gonna get one. I'm coming for it. I don't know what
I'm gonna I did see it though. I did see the cake too.
I'm gonna get me one. I gotta get me one.
Thanks.
And now, Amber, how did you feel like when you were losing and everything? Do you wish you had done it sooner?
I think it was it was good around that time. I don't think younger, like when Lynn Love was mentioning like people 16, 17, 18. I think
Yeah.
that's like super early because when you go through that mental thing, like you said, when you wake up, I thought I was in a pit of hell when I woke up because I guess that you're surrounded by other people and then you coming off that anesthesia and it was like moaning and I said, Lord, did I go to hell? Like because it was like
Well, I'm assuming that your pain was probably worse than mine because I had the sleeve. You actually had the gastric bypass. You had the full bypass. So whenever they do that, do they still do look, I'm about to count my scars, like 5 or 6 small incisions, or is it like one big incision?
No, it's like I think I got look.
It's like multiple, right? We all
yeah.
Okay.
But because I went through like the part of that first month, because I've never been a person to vomit. So that was new for me. Like even as a kid getting sick, I'd never vomit. I probably vomited like one time in my adult life. And then that was also my first major, like I've never had surgery. That was my first major surgery. And I remember the one time sitting on the edge of my bed and I got sick and I threw up. I said, I don't know why I did this. Like it's an emotional thing. So like as a teenager or somebody in a late teens to 20s, I think it's too early.
Yeah.
Because you're not mentally, I don't think anyone's mentally prepared until you actually have the surgery and then you're in that healing process.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That young lady that I was speaking of, she gained back everything that she lost and an additional 65 pounds because the training that she went through it so young and at a time where her brain was still developing and processing things that she needed for school to get into college, that she ignored all of her telltales. Like Nakia was saying about like her nose running or feeling it in her chest, or for me like burping. You know, I don't know what kind of growing up you all did, but back in the day, my grandma used to tell me, if you burp, baby, that's just your tummy making room for more. Like, finish your food. When I'm about to waste this food.
And that's
you finish what's on your plate.
Right. The problem with that, and I've been saying this
overeating
for years, is that adults make children adult-sized plates and then tell them that they better finish it. So now we have this battle of, well, I'm full, but I still want, and what I came to realize was slider foods that you chew it for 3 bites and then it's mush, go down super easy. So as a little kid, you're like, well, Dad, I still want dessert. They were like, no, but you're full, remember? And then you go and you cram all that food down your throat that you really didn't have room for.
Right.
And now you're an adult and our eyes and our stomachs are trained and we do it not even thinking. You know, it's not even a second thought. But having this surgery, definitely. I mean, this young lady that I'm speaking of that that gained all her weight back and then some, now she's got to be at least 24 or 25 now. And she is still she still suffers. She's still dealing with the overeating and the depression and the anxiety, and people don't realize how much actually goes into having any kind of weight situation, and that there are so many underlying medical conditions that get overlooked because, oh, I'm fat. So it must just be because I'm eating. Right. It must be that I'm just not eating right, or I'm lazy, or whatever. But like, I have something called Hashimoto's. It sounds like an anime. I was like, what? What do you mean? And they were like, oh, well, you have Hashimoto's, and this, makes your metabolism basically null and void, and makes you extra sleepy and lethargic all the time. And
And you're like, what?
See, people think because they watch my 600-pound life,
My
I
life,
think that's
right.
how all of us
We
are.
all
Right.
And it's not the case.
Absolutely not.
I don't sit there all day long. I didn't sit there eating a pound of bacon. I'll be sick if I eat a pound of bacon. Sorry, but no.
Even before the surgery.
Before
Correct.
the
Couldn't
Even
eat a pound of
before,
bacon.
it
all
wasn't
day
happening.
and didn't eat at all. I might have had a banana and a glass of water.
Right. Because you were so conscious about it or so busy.
So
Mhm.
busy that I'm just
Yep.
like, I'm not even hungry, you know?
Yep.
Not knowing, uneducated, that your body's in starvation mode, which means every
Right.
time you
They're
eat
gonna
something,
hold
your
on to you.
body's
Right.
holding on to it because it doesn't know when the next time you're gonna eat
Or
because
eat.
you don't have.
Exactly.
Right.
But you're big. If you just push back from the table, child, I didn't even walk past the table today.
Right. Yeah.
I went
Absolutely.
on the other side of the room. I didn't even
Right.
look at the table.
I didn't even look at the refrigerator today.
Before I hit you with the table.
I was telling a friend of mine the other day that what people fail to realize is like even back when it was like cavemen and like early humanity, you have to realize that a man can stop eating and his body goes into fight mode. He trims down. He gets ready for war. He gets ready to hunt.
Right.
Those are the things that a man's body does when they stop eating, when they cut carbs, when they do those things. For a woman, because our bodies and our hormones never know if we're going to be harboring a tiny fugitive. I don't have any children. I'm sure you all won't agree with that, but our bodies never know when we're going to have a baby. When there's going to be another life that has to sustain in our bodies. So whenever we're not eating, our body is like, oh my God, oh no, and starts freaking out and starts holding on to what the men's body is shedding, because
Right.
men need that agility to go out and hunt and retrieve food for the family. But a woman's body has to be fulfilled enough and stay fulfilled enough to sustain a whole nother life. And people are like, oh, well, my man lost all this weight and I can't lose it.
Because our bodies are not built the same.
You're not the same.
Just
Right.
like, even when I was pregnant, I didn't eat as much at all, because, I actually lost weight when I was pregnant. But then once I, had my baby and my depression set in and I was nursing, of course, when you're nursing, you have to eat a certain amount of calories to keep the milk flowing.
Right.
So that, I think with me, I should have made better food choices, which some days I didn't, because, my depression is like, hey, I need this donut today. Oh, how about 3 donuts? This is what I need. And, this is what my mind was always telling me, because I had one side of my family that were skinny and they're saying, oh, well, since you're different, you're not good enough.
Mhm.
So that stuck up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have my other side of my family that are all heavy set, saying, oh, girl, ain't nothing wrong with you. Just eat that bowl of ice cream. You'll be just fine.
Mhm.
And, basically what stuck out more for me is that I was not good enough because I was heavy set.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
that's
can really. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. And since food was there for me, I said, food's gonna be my friend. Food's gonna tell me, you know what? Just eat me. You'll feel great. You'll be fine. And that's what I continually did for myself. And it was a way of like self-destruction, which we'll definitely cover that in a future episode. But yeah, it was just like self-destructing myself. Because I'm like, well, hey, if I'm not good enough, then what's the point of me trying to improve myself? Might as well just keep going.
What's the harm? What were you gonna say, Ms. Amber?
Right.
Well, I was gonna say I can relate. So me and my mom, we're like the tallest ones out of the, her side of the family. So everyone else is like shorter, smaller, big old booty, small breasts, and me and my mom taller, no booty, big breasts,
Right.
So you kind of, like you said, you kind of internalize, even though my family has never been negative about how I look or anything like that. But sometimes you personally internalize that, like, oh, I don't look like everybody else, and then I had that defeated, like, I definitely had that attitude where, like, I'm gonna eat this cookie tastes good, this cookie ain't gonna talk back to me, the cookie's not making me mad, it's making me you know, feel happy at this moment. And I'm like, I might as well eat it. I'm gonna still be this size till, you know.
I'm gonna be this size whether I eat this cookie or I don't.
Right. But my family they were vocal in
Right.
saying, you need to lose weight. I mean, this is as early as 5 years old. I remember me being told that I was not good enough. I was not beautiful. You know, they were very vocal with, you know what? Why are you? Your brother is skinny. You're taking food from him. My brother eats more than I do.
Right.
And he's tall and skinny. He took after. It's just all about genetics, and it's just like my mind is like, well, I guess I'm not good enough. And like I said, had it not been so vocal to me, constantly, maybe I would have had a different, you know, outcome.
Mm-hmm.
From what, you know, and that just fed into my depression, which made me eat more and more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then
So do you feel like your weight gain was depression led?
I think some of it was, yeah. I think it was, you know, of course, you know, family bullying me. That I'm at school, I'm being bullied.
Right.
You know, it's just that constant. And it's like, you know what, I can't do. And I just shut myself down and just say, go in my room. Like I would hide snacks and stuff. You know, my mom would be like, you can't have it. I hide it. And when somebody would sleep, I'm taking it anyway, you know, throwing the packaging away, you know, whatever. I just did what I just needed that fix, like, you know, to make me feel better, because I'm like, I'm crying inside and I'm afraid to show my tears out on the outside, because it's like, what are you crying for? You know, there's nothing, you know, it's just, if I think I've been told you are good enough and you're beautiful, I think like I said, my outcome would have been a little bit different, honestly.
Right. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I kind of and my noodles. I kind of was in that same genre where one side of my family are mixed breed, pretty, skinny, light brights, you know, and I'm gonna say it, fuck it. My granny, she lived by the paper sack rule. You light bright, you are right. You know, you dark, you going over there, you know. And so I was the right color, but the wrong size. I wasn't like my pretty cousins who were pretty with the long hair and skinny and petite. So again, I fit the color description. She was like, but she said it, you pretty, usually if you just lose that weight, you'll be real pretty. What you mean? I'm pretty now.
Right.
Yeah. That's a phrase that I couldn't stand.
On the other side of the family, I'm just like you. Everybody on this side of the family, we all some big bone. We them thick girls over here. Everybody thick. And from my granny all the way down to her 11 kids, and then they kids, everybody thick. So it was like, okay. And so they was like, bump that, you're beautiful. And my mom was like, but you know, at home, that's what I was taught. You don't let nobody dictate to you how you feel about you, you know, because, you know, I was taller than everybody in my class until I think I got to middle school. I was the tallest kid in there. And I'm like, I'm not that big. I know, I see your face, Ashley. So I was like, I'm Big Bird, Big Lip, Big Bird, all of those things, light bright Big Bird. You know what I'm saying? You call it, I heard it.
Right. Girl, listen.
I was going to Green Giant.
Baby. Yeah, think about the Disney movies that came out in the 2000s, baby, because I was Shrek all through high school.
Right. Yeah, they used to call me Manika Mumu.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I was, because of, I don't know, I guess Jesus wired me different. So I've always had a smart mouth. So, you talking about me and my lips? Girl, your daddy like them.
That's what I love Tina. She just says whatever.
I love it.
Yes, I am fat, but your mama's still ugly.
I can lose the weight, but you're gonna always be ugly, baby.
Ugly. So what we was that supposed to hurt my feelings? When I walked past the mirror this morning, guess what? The mirror told me I was fat. But your daddy's like it though. I'm with the shits. So I came with them. You know, your daddy eat Oreos out my belly, but like I was quick. You know, I stay putting my second stomach on your brother's forehead. So why you worried about it though? Like I was quick with them. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. I was wired different. So it bothered me internally, but externally, I didn't let the world know that they were affecting me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, this is me. My mom, I watched her go through hers where, before she had me and my sister, she was, she was an old fox little thing out there, you know what I'm saying? But after she had kids, life hit, marriage, she picked up weight. But she didn't let it affect her. She still was like, girl, okay, well, now I can't shop over here. Now, girl, your mama went and got this lane brain card and this is where we finna go. Like, that's how she handled it. So I guess watching her handle her transition and weight gain is why I didn't have a complex about it. Yeah, my pretty and petite family over there is going through it, but my mom transitioned well, and she taught me well. She was like, if you want to wear it and you like the way you look, damn what everybody else think. You be you, and you don't never
I didn't
stop
have that.
for nobody else. And
That's a beautiful thing that your mom was encouraging in that manner, because I caught it from all my family. I had a family member that before I was allowed to eat dinner, I had to get on a scale, and that scale would determine what I was allowed to eat for dinner and how many helpings. And if I wanted a second helping, I would have to go put on my bathing suit, go into the backyard. Mind you, they had a canal in the backyard, which I don't know how familiar you all are, but so like a canal is like a waterway that goes into neighborhoods for like in the Outer Banks where people have boats that they park behind their homes.
right.
Okay. So the water might be 8 feet deep max. I would have to go put on my bathing suit and go swim the laps to earn my second helping
Wow.
because I was fat. Like and it wasn't just from one side versus the other. My dad's mom was always very supportive, but she was plus size and she had always struggled with her weight. So she understood. But my dad was an aerobics instructor. He was a break dancer. He was active. He didn't understand why he had this fat child. And of course, being bitter, attributed it to his ex-wife who, was lazy or, attributed it to that. So that came down the pike too. And generational curses and generational, I guess I'm not really sure what the right word would be, but like, almost like generational shame is very real. And even with like passing the brown paper bag test, like I was light, but I was hand over fist taller than everybody else. I was size over size wearing women's clothes in middle school.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm wearing 26
And
in the sixth grade. Yeah.
so even me being light or me having pretty hair didn't save me. It didn't save me not one bit.
Wow.
And not to say that I wish it did, but I didn't have a safe place like anywhere because I wasn't Black enough for the Black kids and I wasn't white enough for the white kids.
Oh, wow.
And then I was too fat for the tall kids and too tall for the skinny kid, like too tall for the fat kids that were short. Like there was no, so I was just quiet.
Right.
I threw my hoodie on, some Erykah Badu on my little CD player, little Velvet Rope, little Janet, and that was it. I hated school, hated it.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I'm glad that we're doing this because I feel like it really is going to bring a lot of light to the and sometimes I don't think it's intentional. I think that sometimes it is, sometimes it's people just genuinely being hateful.
Right.
But other times I think that it's unintentional.
Because they're simply uneducated.
Right.
Uneducated, unintentional ignorance.
Ignorance. That's what I was going to say. Ignorance. Yeah.
right?
Because they don't. I mean, they don't know. So
they don't know. They don't get it. They don't ask questions.
Right.
They assume that whatever it is that I see, that's what it is. That's all it could possibly be.
Right.
And this is a group of women that have very eclectic stories and situations and walks through life and ideas about what it means to have gone through this surgery, why we went through it, how we went through it, and if we would ever do it again.
That's
and I
why
love that.
I do this to, help other people that are thinking about having a surgery, or if they want to share their story after they've had the surgery. Because like I said, we all have our stories of what led us to having the surgery. And, that was, for me, that was, my last chance, to be able to do something. Because I don't even know if I'd be here right now.
Right.
If I didn't have it, honestly. I don't know where my life would be at. I don't know what I don't know if I'd be not here or, bedridden, waiting to go see Dr. Now. So I don't know,
Right.
But that's why I wanted to put this panel together for us to all share our stories. And that way we can inspire someone else. And, they'll see that how we all made it, how we're all doing, Amber has her store, which we're going to be plugging that in throughout our episodes. Your store, Miss Amber.
Swing through with a cape on one night.
Yes. Amber, Ashlyn's doing her doula. Tina's doing her modeling, her cooking. I'm doing my modeling and my blog. And, I'm just hoping that we can take this, as far as we can to just get our experiences and our stories out there to help another person, right, no matter how old they are. Because like I said, those things that people think, if just because it happened in middle school, that it's just, it's kids, you just let it go. It's not that simple.
It's not. I mean, I look at my stepdaughter. I don't know if I should say this on this public thing, but fuck it. I say a lot of things I shouldn't say, so I'm gonna say it. But I watched her. I had a hand in raising her, and she's plus size, and I watched her light be dimmed, and it pissed me off, because she's being raised by her great grandmother. So those old habits of, you need to push back from the table, you need to do this, you need to do that, and her dad, my ex-husband, you need to do this. Stop. You're gonna give her a complex. Mm-hmm. Don't do that to her. And now that she's 19, every conversation we have, well, I'm trying my best to lose weight. Well, and I'm like, baby, you don't have to prove nothing to me. Be who you are. But that's because that's what she's heard all of her life.
And it's stuck up here.
I gotta that's the first thing I need to talk about, is that I'm trying. No, not with TT. You don't have to do that. Love yourself and love who you are at that moment. If you want to change who you are, because that's what you want internally, not for mothers to watch your mouth, Tina, not for people outside here, because you gotta be in tune with your star player. Love you for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just all I really, really want to push. Love you for you. Don't go have the surgery so you can be an Instagram model. Don't go have the surgery so you can fit in this particular crowd. Because I tell everybody that I mentor, Halle Berry is supposed to be the most beautifulest, loveliest, this, that, and the third. And Halle Berry can't keep a man.
She's almost on her fifth marriage right now. So, and she got cheated on by Eric Benet. So, it's whatever. But
what's her name? Kim Kardashian, all the Kardashian girls, they're supposed to be like everybody's like cookie cutter.
Khloe,
they can't keep no man.
Khloe, I love Khloe. I have a love-hate relationship with Khloe because
I'm so mad at her.
Because she switched the game up. You was the fat Kardashian, Khloe.
Right.
Come on now.
The tall one.
They specifically told her that she needed to lose weight.
Bump Courtney, bump Kim. Girl, you better let them know. You the shit and them hoes hating. And then when she lost the weight, you flip the script and act like we didn't know you was the fat Kardashian. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't
And
do
then
that.
she did something to her butt.
Yes.
And now she just look flipped because where your thighs at?
Okay. She looked like she been flipped inside out. But
But we're not here to bash anyone.
we're not here to
No,
bash.
we're not here to body shame or anything.
Not
It's
by
just-
long shot. Because look, I know I'm built like a linebacker. So
Wait. Girl, the shoulders.
Me too. Look at these rings. I'm ready to fly away right now. But I think
You
that
turn things on.
people,
I have both of my stomachs in my pants. I ain't ashamed.
yeah, and I have had my first round, like I said, of plastic surgery already, having 20 pounds removed from my stomach.
Right.
Because my stomach was down to my knees.
Right.
And I was just like, goodness, this ain't life. I shouldn't have to get up and lift it up just to do, just to put on a pair of pants or lift it up. It's just like, goodness, that's like an exercise itself. I need a nap after I lifted that up.
Okay.
And and like I said, when people, especially when you're young, and people constantly, putting those ideas in your head that you're not cute at all. It's always, you would be so much prettier if you did this. You might be. It's like,
Pretty
why
for
can't you just tell me now? Or like I said, we'll definitely talk about the whole dating thing. You're pretty for a bigger. What does that even? What the hell does that even mean?
What does that mean? Right.
Oh, if you're not into big girls, get out my face.
Yeah, so we'll definitely talk about that because, like, you all are in southern states, and I am in a northern state,
Right.
and how men act in both and is two different things. But that will be on a future episode that we'll talk about.
Okay, I'm just gonna I can attest to that because I'm originally from Pittsburgh. So when I was living up north, and like Tina said, they be like big girls on the low.
Yes.
I came down here, they was like, "Hey, girl," I was like, "Are you talking to me?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, bring that.
And I couldn't, like, when I
Let me
when I
feed you
came-
this
when I-
Krispy
like,
Kreme.
When I came to, I came to Virginia twice last year. You met, both times,
Right.
Amber. And it was just crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to Memphis, this past year, back in May, it's crazy how you're just walking down the street.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, out,
Hey, girl.
out in the open. And that's not something that I am used to at all. And I'm just like, I'm looking around to see who they're talking to. They're like, we're talking to you. I mean, I was at the 7-Eleven when I went to Virginia Beach. I think, when was I? Last April when I came down for Jose Begon's shoot. And I'm at the 7-Eleven getting me a lotto ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And the man was like, you look pretty beautiful today. And I said, well, I'm thinking he's talking to the girl behind me who's little toothpick.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, so you're not from here, are you?
No,
And
they
I said,
know.
what gives it away? He said, well, you ain't got no country accent. I said, oh, no, I'm not from here, I think I told him I'm from Illinois or whatever. I didn't want to know where I was from, but it's just mind-boggling how it's very different.
Extremely different.
Girl, wait till we get you out this country. Because let me tell you, my sister is 5'2" and maybe $120 soaking wet. My biological sister. We went to the Bahamas. I knew I was going to have to be security, keeping these fools off of her. We got off the boat. This young man walked up to me and said, I want to introduce you to into my mama and my grandmama because we're going to get married.
Mm-hmm.
I said, the next dude that approached said the same thing. Ma'am, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Woo, woo, woo. And I'm like, what the? I got a camel toe showing. I got a nipple out. What's going on? What's going on? Then this dude walked up to me. He picked me up. He was like, can I have a hug? And I was like, that's fine. I'm friendly. I go to give him a hug. He hoists me up on his lap. And I'm like whispering at him, don't you drop me. And he was like the DJ of the bar that we were in. I'm like, don't drop me. He's like, nah, girl, I don't drop my food.
Hello, somebody. Hello.
And mind you, I was probably about $345 at the time. Baby, I said, oh, I live in the wrong country.
Yes, we do. When I was in college, and my best friend, she's been my best friend since we were like 8 years old. She's always dated, Africans, Kenyans, Nigerians, things like that.
Mhm.
And so she was like, Tina, you got to go to the bar with me. Tina, you got to go to the bar. And I was like, girl, I don't want to go over there. Baby. It was like, the queen has arrived when I walk. Oh my God, where have you been?
Right, because over there,
At
our
home,
social
eating
status will be up here.
Up here, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, wow. And then when I went for the shoot up in Cincinnati with Nika, and we kind of touched on it briefly, and she was like, yeah, the guy's here, da 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 da. And again, Tina's a rebel. That's why I pushed the envelope. I'm gonna tell you
because that man, he was looking at us, he was snapping pictures, he was taking videos, and Tina then went over there, put her arm around him, and he about passed out because he was just like, oh my gosh, he was just so frantic, he didn't know what to do with himself.
Right.
I mean, all eyes were on us.
And even the ladies were like, oh my God, y'all are like so wonderful. Like, and I'm just like, I'm like, because I'm from the South and I've been in the South all my life, that I'm just like, oh my God, like they really are over here like shocked that we came outside like this, but embracing it at the same time. And I'm just like, this is really a thing. And, again, so I'm a rebel. I'm going to push the envelope to see how far I can take it, And so that's what made me go to the club. Oh, I'm going to hit the club. Let me see how much I can cut up out here. And I'm going to keep it cute because we on the camera.
Miss Tina.
Tina was pulling them. She was pulling them. I'm telling you, I was just sitting there. I mean, I was dancing and stuff, but they were just comforting. It was like, where is she from? I said, oh, well, this is my friend from Dallas. She's from, she's here visiting from Dallas. Oh, she's from Dallas, and they were just all on her. They and like I said, it is a thing where they are just like, we're embracing our curves and we're embracing, our extra fluffiness, and a lot of people are just shocked by that we're embracing it. We're just not. We're not sitting. We're not eating bonbons, laying
or
on the bed
hiding
with a pound of bacon,
right,
and a whole carton of eggs, waiting for Dr. Dow to come see us and let us know that we need to stop. We need to cut it down. That's what they think, because that's what they see. That's what media brings. That's what media lets them know, that this is all we do, and that's not the case.
What was your question, Ashley?
I was gonna ask, do any of you all feel like you kind of like part of me feels like I turned my back on the plus size community? Like I felt like I was like I was a traitor all of a sudden because I went and had this surgery done, and now people are looking at me like I'm little. I'm not little. I'm still a size 14, and I'm still 6'3". Ain't none of that gonna change. But I felt like people thought that I was like a traitor. Did anybody else experience that?
I got kicked out of a BBW group on Facebook.
Oh,
they really I thought they were joking. They were like, "You're no longer BBW. You don't belong in here," and da 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 da. And I was like, I'm still for my BBW queens, yada yada yada. Girl, I got kicked out the group. I was like, oh, wow, really?
Yeah. And see, now my dirty looks come whenever I go into Torrid. My dirty looks, not when I'm in places like Express and Aeropostale, and I don't even shop in Express or Aeropostale, but I can walk in there and nobody looks twice. But I go into Torrid or I go into Ashley Stewart and I'm getting dirty looks. And I'm like, why are y'all looking at me like this? Stop.
Right.
But
I'm mentally stuck here. This is my go-to when I'm looking for something to wear.
Right.
So I'm not being funny. I'm here because I know y'all got something cute. And you sent me my coupon. Let me get in here.
I'm a rewards member. Let me do it. Because I with them, like I said, I'm still used to trying to find me a 5 or 6. And I'm like, oh snap, Manika. Yeah, you're a 2 now. So you need to find you a 2. Yeah. And it used to be, I would go in there like, gosh, I hope they have this, or I'm about to try this on or bring it back. because I don't know, it's just a difference with the way the mind is working with you adjusting to your smallness. I guess that's the way it's
Yeah.
saying.
What's that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a really big transition and change, and it's interesting because sometimes I wonder, like, if it's this traumatic for me to go, like, I was always a big girl, always. If it's this traumatic for me to go from big to small, how is it to go from small to big, like to have to experience that really quickly? Was that just as bad? And do you feel like you have the same, like the backlash mentally is the same both directions?
I'm gonna speak on that because I kind of, before I had the surgery, I dressed like my mom didn't, like Tina. My mom was kind of like this. She was the same way. Like my mom always been plus size, and it was funny that my aunt actually not too long ago she sent my mom modeled too. So my mom didn't play that. Like we always wore, like, some plus size clothing, it would be all black, floral, matronly. No, my mom put clothes on. You dressed, regardless of what size you were in, you dressed. And I want to say prior to surgery, I was not as weight conscious. Like, I knew how much I weighed, but I wasn't pressed about my weight, if that makes sense.
I understand that 100%.
Yeah.
After the surgery, I think I probably didn't even have a scale prior to surgery. After the surgery, and then you go for the first couple checkups, then it's a year. And my surgeon, he was pretty good as far as he didn't make me feel bad, but it was just like this underlying stress when you going in for that checkup and they about to weigh you.
Yeah.
And then if you saw that you gained weight, I'll be like, oh God. But like I said, prior to surgery, I didn't care about my weight. I was still, wearing my 22, 24, 3X in there, whatever.
Right.
But like after surgery, I'm not gonna lie, like I be hard on myself sometimes when I see that the
Scale
weight
going
fluctuate.
up.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some times where I know I struggle with where I will weigh myself every time I get up to use the bathroom. I weigh myself and say, okay, has it gone? How the scale's going down, and I'm like, I know I have to get my mind out of that.
Yeah,
That is so. That is such. It's a toxic habit.
Yes, because I'm just like, I cannot, and I shall not, I will not go back to that person. I can't do it.
right.
But we're women.
I can't do it. I have to stay. I need to stay where I'm at and keep going smaller. Like I have not hit I know I haven't hit my goal weight. I need to get all this excess skin off first. Then I know I'll be at my goal weight. But I still want to stay curvy. But I want all the excess skin off because I'm just now wearing a bathing suit. Before that, I never wore a bathing suit or never wore shorts because I was told I look disgusting. So I'm like, I'm not gonna wear it if I'm gonna look disgusting. That's stayed up here, but I'm getting better with wearing new things.
Can I ask a question? I am so proud of you, by the way.
Thank you.
Can I ask the group a question? So that's a battle that I've been having with myself. I surpassed my goal weight. I only was like, I get to about 225, 250, between 250 to 230, somewhere in there, and I'll be all right. Well, I got all the way down to 198. And when I got there, I felt like I looked like a crackhead. So I purposely started eating slider foods and stuff to pick the weight up. So now I'm 218, and I've been at 218 for the last 3 years. I fluctuate between 218, 220, right? But I do notice, like, I stopped working out because to me, it made it obvious that I needed to have the skin removed. As a big girl, we could hide and we can pull the pants up here. We can put the the waist trainer or the
Mhm.
Spanx on, we could hide our imperfections. Well, I don't know if y'all want to see that, but like I stand in the mirror every single day, and with my stomach, this is all skin.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, do I have it removed? But I like it's almost like a blanket of security that
Comfort.
keeps me thinking that I'm still plus size.
Mhm.
Because when I lift the skin and look at myself, if I got the skin removed, I don't, what size would I really be? That's
Mhm.
a lot of skin that I just can hold. You see, I can just hold it. And
Mhm.
it's like, well, wait, I look completely different under all of this skin,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so I battle with that. Is that something that everybody else battles with? I know
Yeah.
me and Nika, me and you have had that conversation, but like, I'm like,
Do all of you have kids?
yeah,
Mm.
I do.
You don't have kids, Amber?
Uh-uh.
So I'll be 35 the end of this year, and that's something that I've been battling with a lot
Mhm,
because I want to have a baby.
mhm.
Mhm.
But what happens if I get all the skin removed and then have a baby?
Right. And then
Mhm.
you got to start all over.
That's why, I would like to have another one before I have the remaining. I would mind getting the skin off my, these wings here, my thighs, and my back. I can always wait on my tummy tuck later, but I would like to at least have one more before getting the tummy tuck. All the rest can come off.
See,
It's
I'm
fine.
done. We're done here.
Yeah, I want to at least get this off. Like I said, my thighs, you know, um, and the rolls and my little cinnamon rolls. And they need to go.
And see, that's another thing that I'm dealing with. My man, as well as my ex-husband, they both, like my ex-husband, even before we split, he was like, don't lose too much because I'm attracted to plus size women.
Mm-hmm.
So, which that's not why we separated. We separated because of some other bull porn. But I had that complex, and then my man, he says the same thing. When I say, "Oh, I've picked up 8 pounds," or "I need to get back in the gym," or "I need to do this," and he was like, "Hey, I like big girls." He was like, like he even looks. I have a picture right here behind me. I don't know if y'all can see it, of what I look like, because he met me after the surgery. So when he comes in the house and sees the old pictures of me, he tells me to my face, "I'm attracted to who you used to be. That's really my type." He was like, he was like, "Don't get me wrong, you're beautiful, you look good." And he understands why I had the surgery, but he's attracted to the plus size me. And so it's like I think, like I always want to make sure that I'm being true to myself. But at the same time, I'm like, are you consciously keeping it because of the kind of man that you're dating? Or are you afraid to see what you really look like because of, the body dysphoria? Is it really, am I afraid to see what my true size is? Because of the fact, like I said earlier in this thing, I was shocked that I fit a medium, because in my mind, I'm an extra large kind of gal. So it's like, that's been my struggle for the I'm going to say last couple of months. Do I remove the skin, but can I mentally handle what I look like once that's gone? And I don't think I'm ready to face that. So I think I'm kind of holding on to the extra skin as a crutch. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand that 100%. It is definitely a security blanket, and it is something that's like almost still kind of makes me feel like I'm not completely a traitor.
Right.
Like, it's that one thing that's like, oh, well, I still got a gut. I still got thighs. Like, my arms still, wiggle when they jiggle.
That.
And it is definitely a mental battle, because number one, after you get it done, then you have, so because of my back surgery, I have a really big scar on my back. I've had 2 major back surgeries and I have a really long scar. So I know how different, like I have a scar here, I got one underneath this arm, I got one down my back. I know how the different parts of my body heal. I don't know if I want to choose that scar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the emotional scarring that I feel from being plus size for so long is going to be worse than the physical scarring of removing them. And what that emotional scar is going to look like.
Right.
Maybe I'll be better off. But if I'm not having rashes, because rashes are real with skin, if I'm not having cysts or boils or, you know, all the other things that come along with being plus size, with being obese, with being morbidly obese, with having extra skin, if I'm not having any of those issues, why am I going to do this?
Right.
Because my justification for having the original surgery was not because I wanted to be skinny.
Right.
Which I don't feel like any of us have really said that that's the reason that we had the surgery.
Right.
But it was the health aspect.
Right.
So mentally, I don't have a reason mentally to justify me getting this taken off.
Right.
So then it's like, oh, well, now you're just getting, so now it goes into that toxic mindset that other people have of, oh, you took the easy way out.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like me getting the skin removed for me isn't about the men that I date, because I'm always going to be hand over fist taller than everybody.
Right.
Regardless of how much, I'm not going to get my knees done.
Right.
Okay. They ain't going to make me no shorter.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I understand, like, you know, it's scary. It's mentally, like, I guess we have to watch our mouths, but it's like, you know, it's a mind bomb, like a mind F bomb.
Right.
That just, like, how do I process that? And there's nobody talking about it.
No,
Right.
it's not.
Nobody.
Well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about
And
it
then you got this
in this series.
whole BBL craze going on.
Oh my God.
Also, we like, you know, kind of cringing because I don't want to fall into that category, you know, because
Right.
I processed that. And
Right.
then for me, with my battle with cancer, I had 7 surgeries. So
Absolutely.
I'm tired of being cut. You know, when I signed up for this,
So
and I'm
how
like,
many more surgeries are you willing to have? How many
My
more
will-
scars are you going to have that are choices and not forced? It's different. I get it 100%.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
having my stomach surgery done was my choice because of my medical conditions, but I wasn't forced. I can't imagine having 7 surgeries from having cancer or having, you know, something happen like that where you don't have a choice,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then having to still look at those scars every day. People don't discuss what our mental psyche does to us, not only as human beings, but as women.
right.
Mm-hmm.
It is reckless. It's crazy. It's so crazy. But let me tell you something, Tina. I know one thing for certain and 2 things for sure, honey, and it is all free. You're going to tear it up wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's number 1. Number 2, I know you're going to tell that boy, that not boyfriend, where he can go if you do choose to get it done and he don't like it.
Because you heard what he is. What's his name?
The not
Not my man.
boyfriend,
Not
not my man.
man. So therefore, your opinion don't matter because why? You're not my man.
So
Me personally, if I can get this off, this right here off, my thighs done, I'll be good. Now on the and my cinnamon rolls, they got to go too. But the
what
bottom,
are these cinnamon rolls?
You better
What-
love
what
me
is this?
rolls.
my rolls in my back.
Oh,
But-
the back pieces, my handlebars.
Those are the big
Okay,
rolls.
them handlebars, they hold on to
My
them.
handlebars,
We
yeah,
gonna be
those
good,
gotta go.
Ashley. We gonna be good. We gonna be good.
One thing that I'm afraid of is the lower body lift that I know I need to get because I don't want to lose my butt because I finally got one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You got one what?
You got
I finally got a butt, so I don't want to get.
Oh.
I don't want to lose that. If I had
I
that
lost
much
mine when I
skin.
lost my weight. Girl, my feelings were
I never had
hurt.
one before. I had
Well, I got
it was like this. That's what I had. And
My-
I be
now
so
that
glad- I feel like I look like a
I'm
lumpy
afraid
string
I don't
bean.
wanna lose
Get
it.
off my phone.
She said she looked like income tax. Coming to the man. So mad.
That was me. You know,
Tina,
this is my bag.
Don't go to
This
the
is my
corner,
bag,
Tina. Tina, come out the
and-
corner.
and all this was my front. You know, this was my front over here. So you know, just think about this. This is how I was looking.
in the 2000s.
This is how I was looking. So yeah, it had to go. So now, you know, I got a badonky donk. I'm like, oh, I don't want to lose my badonky donk. You know, I got to keep it. You know,
Right.
'cause I'm trying to get it where I'm walking down on the beach and they, you know, they can put a quarter or a drink up there and I can carry it from one end to
Come
another.
on, retribution. Body yada yada.
You know, I'm trying to do. I ain't got the Megan These, but I'm trying to at least, you know, bounce to Megan.
For the 99 in the 2000s.
Listen, I'm trying to find out who did Megan's knees because I need a pair.
Listen.
I tell
Anybody?
you what, when I get my knee replacements in about 10 years, I will be able to do the
I get
Megan.
We should not be excited about knee replacements. I'm gonna need all y'all to get off my phone. It's clearly past everyone's bedtime.
Yes. So any final words
Everybody
for
has
this
facilities
episode?
these days. Done.
Let's start off with Miss Amber. Any final words for this episode?
I'm really thankful for this episode because I think, like you said, a lot of it's not talked about, you know. And one thing I can say about it is I never really, it's only like a handful of people that knew. Well, I mean, of course, when they saw you lost the weight dramatically, you know, people speculate, of course, they didn't have the surgery, blah, 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 blah. But I've never
No,
really,
girl, I did the celery cleanse.
but I've never really talked about it at this length, and it's therapeutic because it's like I said, I wasn't really pressed about my weight before I had the surgery, and now it's just like it's really bugging me, and then you kind of discover the underlying issues as to why you eat the way you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we have a lot more episodes that we're gonna cover different topics and different things. We covered some of them today, but we're gonna go into depth
Right.
into those topics and just bring it all out in the forefront. And hopefully we're able to, you know, help another person that's wanting to do this and they can see, you know, things that we've gone through and then where we're at now, you know, because, you know, we're on covers, we're, you know, doing bourgeois shoots and we're doing this shoot and that shoot and we're just, you know, we're tearing it up, you know, because when I saw Jose in June when he came to Ohio, he was telling me, he said, when I was in Virginia, you know, he says, Amber, she tore it up. You know, she was, you know, Jose is. He was like, you know, yo, she tore it up. You know, Amber, you know, I mean, you know, I was like, Amber? He's like, yeah, you know, she's 6 foot. I said, yeah, Amber. He's like, yeah, she tore it up. You know, she was doing it. And, you know, I'm all nervous and stuff for my shoot. And I finally, you know, I kind of lower my mind. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do something daring. You know, Jose's all about the nakedness.
Yes.
So I went topless. I did topless. And then he was like, he told the brand ambassador, he's like, Sable, yo, you missing it. She finally opened up. And I'm like, you know, I'm just, you know, just trying to get it out there. Cause, you know, I've always been ashamed of my body and didn't want to show it. So I'm like, you know, I didn't show everything, but I'm just like, maybe I'm just going to do something different to make myself more comfortable.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Some days we have to be our own cheerleaders and not our own worst critics.
Yeah.
And it's not, every day is not going to be my own little John.
No.
Every day ain't going to be like that. But, you know, you have to be your own cheerleader at times too. And I'm really glad that this group is together and that this is come to fruition. And hopefully, you know, even if nobody ever speaks up or, you know, chimes into the chats or whatever, I hope there's someone somewhere out there listening, watching, and seeing that at the end of the day, number one, we are not identified by our weight. That even though we had a life of hardship with our weight, we have overcome. We do not forget where we come from, and we are grateful for the journey of being able to learn that at the end of the day, I still have to love myself. And being open enough for all of us. And I just want to tell everybody, like, I'm proud of you guys for even being able to open up and talk about these things because they are not easy.
No.
It is not easy to talk about, you know, your hardships as a child, as a young adult, as dating as a woman who has now has lost weight, and you're trying to re-identify, who you are as a woman and how you feel sexy and what your sex life is going to look like, or your dating life, is difficult.
Mhm.
And so I just want to say, I'm very proud of everybody for even just being willing to come up here and openly discuss it. And I really do believe that people are gonna see a lot of help and a lot of, hopefully, inspiration to do what's good for them, whether it's surgery or not.
Mhm.
Yes. And I'm happy and I'm thankful for each one of you all for agreeing to do this with me, because I reached out to you all specifically because I don't know, it's just God just led me to come to each one of you and say, how about this idea? And you all, all in separate chats, like, yes, I'll be willing to do it. And just us coming collectively and able to just bring everything to the forefront, like, the ins and the outs, the ups and downs. And hopefully, I just want to see this go as far as it can go.
Wonderful.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for getting this all together, Miss Nakia.
Thank you. And thank you, Miss Camille Rivers. You rock. Maybe next time she'll be on the party with us. I see her in the chat. I was trying to respond to her, but thank you. I'm definitely, that's one thing that I'm learning. And I know we got to go because I think, it's 11 o'clock. And my body is like, girl, what we doing? But
it's 11 o'clock.
I'm learning is Ashley, boy, she exit real quick.
I think it's her signal.
Yeah. But that's one thing that I'm learning to, like, when you get out on these platforms, you never know who has dealt with stuff. I was always a private person. Like, I watch all these people who blog about their battle with breast cancer and their things like that, right? And I was like, God, I wish that was available for me, to have somebody that I could truly connect with and talk to and listen to their journey and how they, because I internalize things and go off into a corner by myself. And I did the same thing when I went through my weight loss journey. Like, there was like maybe my mom and my best friend, that's it. I didn't tell anybody else. And I kind of internalized and went off into my corner. So I'm grateful. And, and so there's a couple of friends, like, I think I don't know if y'all are familiar with Gente Carter, and I don't know if she'll be okay with me name dropping, but she just recently had her surgery, and I follow her on TikTok and Facebook, her social media platforms, which she's the dopest denim girl ever. She bad with that needle and thread. Okay. But she's blogging and kind of like journaling her journey, her VSG journey out loud for the world to see. And I'm like, that's dope. I wish I had some kind of avenue to do that and the courage to do it, because I'm learning to come out of, this is my private life and the world don't need to know that about Tina. Well, yeah, they do. You do need to be able to tell your story and tell your testimony, because you never know what your story and who your story can help. So I'm so grateful to be a part of this. And it's a teaching moment for me, because it's forcing me to stop. Some things you do need to share. Some things you do need to talk about, Tina. Everything doesn't have to be kept to yourself, internalized. You don't have to deal with that alone. Because I'm learning today, like, oh my God, I'm not the only person who sit over here and get the burping and like, okay, that's burp number 3. Okay, that's burp number 4. All right, let me just go and go to the bathroom because I already know what's coming next. It's good to hear that, because I'm thinking, did I mess up? Did I do something wrong? Why am I?
Did I break my tool?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm elated to be a part of this, and y'all know I'm the talker, so I'm gonna shut up now, and so we can.
I video blogged a lot of my beginning on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. I'm not as active on it as I used to be, but I do have a platform and like my very first like weigh-ins, my waking up in the hospital, meal prep, losing the weight, drinking the water. I did quite a bit of video vlogging before. I want to say once I hit a year, I kind of stopped, but I wanted to show people from the very beginning. It's like watching workout videos and everybody's skinny.
Right.
Right. I did on my blog. I did. I didn't chronicle it, but I just kind of put my first blog post was about it, about, because a lot of people was really wondering, like, well, how'd you do it? How'd you do this? And first, I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want anybody's negative comments.
Right. I didn't want to hear it.
So I
I'm
finally
happy enough on myself. I don't need no help.
Yeah, I finally opened
And I'm
up.
one of those people who was like, I'm not going to take the easy way out and do the surgery. I'm doing it the right. I'm going to work out. I'm going to eat right.
Right.
And it's always not that simple, but I finally did blog about it. And, a lot of people were like, wow, you're actually opened up about some things I haven't said. I said, I haven't opened up about everything. I said, but hopefully me sharing my testimony with you ladies in these series of episodes that we're going to be doing, it will get a lot out and be therapeutic for me. Because I know we all have had, we all have our set of issues, that we've had. And this will help us, help us grow.
Right.
Mentally, spiritually, emotionally. It would just help elevate us to the higher.
I think that after we complete one season, I think we should all go on a bold and beautiful trip.
I think that's a marvelous idea. Yes, we should.
Turn up.
2023 Worth Your Weight podcast members panel will be
live out in Miami or somewhere.
Miami, Aruba.
Girl, we go to Mexico. We can go wherever we want to go.
Okay, yeah. We outside.
Absolutely.
We'll be live.
I'm like, wait, what?
Come on, Amber.
Oh, I'm with it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna get y'all out. Miss Tina and I, we gonna turn up. That's for sure. We will turn up.
Get my bag of hair, gonna be ready.
Not the bag of hair.
Come on.
Yeah. I'll need some Brazilian or Peruvian soda.
Come on.
And I'll be ready.
Okay.
Let's do it. I'm gonna go get me some braids. And it's gonna be okay. I'm not gonna even mess with it. I'm gonna put it in the braids, up in the bun.
Right. And we ready to go.
Ready to go.
But I think it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see where this is going to go. Thank you again, Nika, for putting this together. I'm elated to be a part of this, and I'm excited to see, if we touch one person, then that means we've done our job.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go a little church, and then I'm gonna go and let this in.
Go ahead, pray for us, Miss Tina.
We almost 2 hours, Lord Father. But it says that, I think my post this morning said that our healing isn't meant for us. It's meant to be a testimony on how God has moved in our life. And so that's where I'm like, you got to be a witness. We got to go out here and we got to share that, because what our trials and tribulations are, we went through them so that we can help and coach somebody else. So how selfish are we if we don't share this information? So with that, I'm going to shut up because I'll keep talking. But I love it. And I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
Well, we love you too.
We love you too. And yes, thank you ladies so much. Definitely we will be discussing when our next episode drop date is. And we did have one sponsor for this episode for Excess Energy Drink, Sean Fedler. He was our sponsor for this episode. But
nice.
Like I said, we will definitely this is going to grow, and this is where we're going to manifest. This is going to grow into something multi-streamed across, everywhere.
We'll be on the Dr. Phil show next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
To get it on there. And
Oz.
Oh yes, we're gonna be on Oz too, making him all sorts of kinds of nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely. So yes, I do want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. We had good participation. I do see we had a lot of viewers off and on through our episode, and just stay tuned for our next episode that'll be coming. The topic is, we don't know what topic is going to be yet, but we're going to come up with something dope. And thank you for tuning in tonight for the first installment of Worth Your Weight podcast, the bold and the beautiful of the VSG.
Yay!
So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Have a wonderful night or morning, and we will see you all soon.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Bye.